Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Thank you for being here early Friday morning. Looking to increase your business and move forward, hopefully earn more money. And today I want to talk about the importance of hiring a tax specialist. First, I want to ask a question. Does anybody know when the first personal income tax was owed in the United States? Any historians in here? Dave, do you know?
1914?
Close, 1913.
Wow.
100 years ago, the states ratified the 16th Amendment, which allowed Congress to levy a personal income tax against everybody. So back in 1913, as you see, I pulled out of my pocket, the first 1040, comprised of only 2 pages for the form and 2 pages for the instructions. Imagine that. 100 years later, this is the tax code, statutes that explain everything that goes into filing your 1040 and business returns. These are the actual texts written by Congress. Now this is all of the regulations, all these books, 6 books at least, explaining what's all in here. Now these are just what's written by the IRS. Then you go into further, which I didn't bring because I would have needed Chad's muscles to carry those in. Tax court cases, revenue rulings, revenue procedures, district court cases, Supreme Court cases, all interpreting statutes, regulations, all that kind of mess. Now, I'm not here today to advocate a simpler tax code. It is what it is. Until Congress changes it, we've got to deal with it. It affects everybody's life in one way or another, positive or negative. We just have to work around it. But what I am here today is to encourage you to please hire a tax specialist when working your business. You don't want to spend all the time going through figuring out what this means. You don't even, because it's not the difficult part of understanding what this means. The difficult part is figuring out which sections apply to you and how each of those sections work together. Now, obviously, you're all small business owners. You don't want to waste your time going through that. You want to focus on your business. How can you earn more money? How can you grow? How can you reduce costs? So hire a tax specialist that can help you do that. And start early. Hire an actual tax person. It can be a CPA or attorney. Now, not all CPAs know tax. There's a lot of CPAs that specialize in auditing or bookkeeping. It doesn't necessarily mean they know tax. And attorneys don't necessarily know tax either. Personal injury attorney probably doesn't know tax. Your divorce lawyer probably doesn't know the tax code. It's much like medical field. If you had cancer, you wouldn't go see a pediatrician. You'd go see an oncologist. If you needed to have some teeth removed, you'd probably go see an oral surgeon, not a general practitioner. So it's the same fundamental with taxes. And start early. Taxes are much like Newton's laws of motion. For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. So say you sell a widget, you're going to pay tax on the profit. Say you sell 2 widgets, you're going to pay double the tax on those 2 sales. Now, if you go buy an equipment, you might be able to take a depreciation deduction or offset some of your other income. Now, it's important to remember that the tax tail should not wag the business dog. You don't want to make a decision simply because of the taxes. You want to focus on something that will grow your business and will help you. But you also need to keep in mind that there's going to be some kind of tax consequence. Working at H&R Block, I get to focus on more of the compliance side of it. I come in and we have a lot of people come to us and they say, I've got this business and here's what everything I've done during the year. So, okay, well, unfortunately you made this choice. You were a sole proprietor, just you working in your business, and all of a sudden you said, I want to grow, I want to have somebody bring in capital. Well, as soon as you did that, as soon as you brought in that extra person, increased your capital and your ownership percentages between the two of you, you created a new partnership. That is an entirely new tax structure, one of the most complicated in the business. And now we need to figure out how to rectify that, or whether we should just move on. And I see people make that choice all the time. Sleepless nights because all of a sudden I've got to file all these new returns, got to pay all these additional taxes, and they have all this stress and struggle and just, oh man, why did I do this? Why didn't I talk to somebody to begin with? And that's why I'm here today, to encourage you to talk to somebody early. Don't make those choices. Yes, we can bring somebody in to help your business. We can get you capital, but there's smart ways to do it. Don't just listen to Uncle John because he's done it before. He might not be your tax expert. Listen to somebody who actually knows what they're doing. Because again, Newton's law is in motion. Everything that's in motion stays in motion. So as soon as you get that tax ball rolling, it's going to increase and increase. And it's much easier to prevent that avalanche from starting than to try and stop it once it starts. Now, I know a lot of you might be saying, okay, I've got a guy, I know what I'm doing. I'm too big. I'm not big enough to need a tax specialist. I don't need Mitt Romney's tax attorney. I don't need any tiered corporations or foreign subsidiaries or anything like that. And yes, you're probably right. Small businesses don't generally need that kind of information. But the tax code not only can hurt you, but it can help you. There are a lot of provisions in there that you can take advantage of because you're a small business, and a lot of those are written for the small business owner. So just go to a tax specialist and see, maybe there's something that you can benefit from, because the tax code not only can hurt you, but it can help you. And I also hear a lot of people say, you can't get blend from return it. Well, unfortunately, the IRS somehow can get blood from return it. Taxes are one of the only liabilities that you cannot discharge in bankruptcy. And you can't work some things out with the IRS, but that's always more difficult than just planning for it in the future. So avoid all the stresses, avoid all the mistakes that are possible in the beginning. Hire tax specialists, start early, start often.